Hi there, Martin from experiencelawofattractioninmylife.com. Today I want to spend a little bit of time focusing on the concept of gratitude. Now, gratitude is one of those things that, I suppose, like anything, is very perceptive, is very objective. But quite simply, no matter how simple or benign something might be, it's really important to be grateful for that. For example, if we've got decent clothes to wear for the day, if we've got food to fill our bellies with, if we have the ability to read, the ability to write, the ability to use our body correctly in the sense that we are not disabled, for example. But then even again, there are some people who might be disabled who actually say, well, I'm very grateful for the fact that I've got the use of this or that part of my body. No matter what it is, if you spend just a few minutes a day actively making the effort to be grateful, after a short while, it massively changes your perspective on everything. And it actually goes one step further. After a while, not only does your perspective change, but you actually start to feel that things that used to bother you no longer bother you. And even more profoundly, things start to come into your life that before you either would not have recognized or not have seen, or alternatively you simply might not have had even any access to through your life's daily activities. It's not necessarily a simple concept to explain in terms of how it works, other than the fact it does work. It's in the same league that thoughts are in fact electrical current, they are in fact electrical waves that traverse the universe. Now, if you're an extremely down-to-earth, very logical thinking person, you might think I'm sort of moving into the realms of la-di-da land. Actually, whether you believe it or not, or even if you understand it or not, is not the issue. The fact is, this has been proven scientifically, and more than enough people have experienced these successes by changing their perception, changing the way that they recognize and see things in their daily lives, and have actually opened themselves up to greater success. Now, one of the famous stories I've used in past recitals of my own experiences is that a friend of mine once mentioned when I was living on the west coast of Australia that I should consider moving over to the east coast. And at the time, it was simply not an option. I wasn't interested, I hadn't imagined it, I couldn't conceive it in my mind. It simply didn't seem applicable. However, my friend was very, very convincing. And to keep him quiet, I ended up saying, look, I'll make a note in my diary for many months ahead, and I promptly forgot about it. Now, this was sometime around probably June or July of 1999. As it turns out, come March, positions had become available on the East Coast within the company I was working in, and I decided, okay, I'm going to apply. Now, having applied, it turned out that whilst I did not pass the first round of interviews on the first application, the second position that was advertised did in fact allow me to pass through to the next phase of secondary interviews. And I ended up, as it turns out, on the east coast of Australia. I think it was something like the 11th of May 2000. Now, amazingly, when I turned the page in my diary to the 13th of May, there was an entry in the diary that said, prepare to consider moving to Sydney. Now, incredibly, when I had written that, I had absolutely no idea, no interest, no comprehension of the fact that this would occur, or even how it would occur. And once that had been put in writing, a process had started externally of me, lining up, if you like, your ducks, lining up different people's positions, different people's desires and wants, and everything lined up towards me moving over to the east coast of Australia. and after I had arrived, I'd actually seen the entry. I've repeated this on many occasions, and that was just one facet of being grateful. It changes your entire perspective. And if that is the one point that I can make today, I would most certainly wish to do that. Every day, every morning, be grateful for what you have. Spend 5 minutes thinking about it. Maybe if you're caught in your car in traffic, use the time to remember how grateful you are. Remind yourself of all the good things you have. This is just one option, one way towards moving to where you wish to always be. I wish you all the very best.